Uh,
All right, recording started.
oh damn! Alrighty. What's up? Welcome back. Week 2 recap. Week 3 preview. ShambleGamble in the house.
Facts.
So I get the first little bullet point of the 20 bullet points on the agenda.
Oh my god, bro! Can you be professional for 1 minute?
We're gonna have the week 2 record. The week 2 record. So I guess I'm gonna start. This week was tough, bro. My confidence is in shambles. I went 5-11 on the 16 game slate for week 2. 5-11, y'all. Action Network says my ROI is negative 40%. My win rate 31%. Just gonna leave it at that. How about you guys?
You sound stressed, bro.
Hella
stressed,
stress.
man. I'm out here. I'm about to catch an international flight. I'm in the parking lot. I'm losing money. It's not good, man.
It's all up from here, baby. All right, so Jam, let you go.
All right, so I went 9-6-1 on the spreads this week. I was up because I put a lot of money on Tampa Bay. The other games I just sprinkled a little bit, and it was okay. I mean, I don't know. I didn't do too well. I didn't do too bad, to be honest with you. 9-6-1 is right, kind of where I would like to be consistently. There were a few games that kind of like turned last second, kind of like Baltimore turned last second. That game was supposed to cover for sure, and it didn't cover. The Raiders were supposed to cover, they didn't cover. So there was a few exceptions there, which I'm okay with. But yeah, moving forward, hopefully those exceptions become less, and the records start to become, more and more above 500.
Dude, 9-6-1 is far, honestly. Anything above 500 is great. You want to stay above 500, that's perfect. Blake, I'm praying for you, bro. Shoot. you learning, though. Shoot, last year would have been 3 and whatever. So you improving. For Action Network, my record was 12-5. Got lucky on a couple of them, got unlucky on a couple of them. Like Sojad said, that Ravens one. So yeah, we're doing good so far. 26-8 for the season.
Okay.
And then we're gonna do Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Never mind.
No, you're good. I think you're gonna ask about like basically our picks for the week.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, the four picks that we had plus the Thursday night football pick.
Facts. All right, I'll start off then. 3-2 for the week. So like I know we're gonna get into the favorite hits a little later, but one of the picks that really irked my goddamn soul was trusting Baker again on the road. I'm off the Panthers for the rest of the year, man. I'm not gonna touch him for a cool minute. I know that. So that one's a little rough one. We hit on the Giants, or not the Giants. We hit on the Jets. In some miraculous comeback. Most of that game, I was sweating it, thinking like, oh, they're down 13. They're not gonna come back. That missed field goal or missed extra point helped a lot. San Fran -9. It's one of Sojad's plays too. Hit, and then Jacksonville, my lock of the week, +4 hit. They just wiped the floor with him. So Indy on the road in Jacksonville. Remember that for next year. All right, those are my 4. So yeah, 3-2 for the week, and my Thursday night was Chiefs -4, which didn't hit.
Yeah, so for Thursday night, I had the Chargers, and that did hit. They gave me a little scare there at the end, but it hit. So I got Thursday night pick. Started off confidently, and then it was kind of downhill from there. Baltimore didn't cover the -3.5. Seattle didn't cover the +9. Pittsburgh didn't cover the 2.5, and Green Bay did cover the 9.5. Green Bay did. So I went 2-3 on my 5 picks, if I'm including Thursday night football. It was close to being 3-2, which is right where I'd like to be with that Baltimore game, but I was 2-3 in the week.
Yeah, I was also 2-3. I had the Chiefs -4 on Thursday night football. Missed on that. I missed on my lock of the week, Baltimore. That one I haven't had any good sleep since that game. I also missed on Tennessee +10. That shit was not even close last night. The two hits I did have was Tampa Bay -2.5, and then I also had ATL +10.
Hey.
And I will say, although this week I was in shambles, ATL +10 was definitely my favorite hit of the week, just because it's a team that a lot of people are counting out against the defending champs, and it was cool to kind of just see through the noise and make that call, despite being very negative for the week. So yeah, that was my favorite hit of the week.
True. I say my favorite hit of the week, definitely. So I'm watching ESPN, right? Or I'm watching the games, and I'm pretty much like, okay, Baltimore is a lock. You know how it is when you're watching the morning games. That first hit of dopamine, the first hour when all your bets are just going perfect. Just sitting there like, I'm a guru, dog. You're sitting there perfect, right? So I'm like, Baltimore is a lock. I'm looking at the Browns. I'm like, I have them in the teaser. That's a lot. I'm looking at a lot of teams that are lots. And all of a sudden, Baltimore folds. Who else? The Browns fold. So all these teams are folding and shit. So I'm looking, I'm just watching the games, just thinking, what is going on? I have Baltimore everywhere. I have Pats everywhere. Panthers are folding. I have Panthers everywhere. I'm like, bro, half of my parlays are going to be done before the afternoon games. And then I scroll up in my bets and I see that on Tuesday, I put in this $20 Hail Mary parlay. Tell me why the three teams with this is the craziest comeback weekend in like 10 years or something in the NFL. Three teams down 13 plus all came back, and I had a parlay with all three of them. Cardinals, who came back on a crazy, crazy, crazy comeback against the Raiders, who completely choked that away. Shout out Kyler Murray. I love you. You deserve that money. The Jets, who came back down 13, that extra point that they missed was low-key. I was like, ooh, that might be something. I thought it was covered the spread, but they came back and won that game. The Dolphins came back against the Ravens and completely, I don't know what happened, down 21 in the fourth. Ravens couldn't run the ball to close them out. But so we had a $20 parlay with the Cards, Jets, Dolphins, $20 for 60. That I didn't think that one was even going to be possible. But that was the Hail Mary parlay. The other one that we hit that finished on Monday was Tampa Bay. We took the spread on that. Niners -9, Texans +10.5, which I think we're all on, and Eagles -2. So that was 50 to win 500. And then we did we went straight up on the Green Bay spread, which paid out. So, and then a couple small ones, but there were a lot of misses too. I know we're going to get into that after Sojad goes.
Yeah, I liked so those comebacks that you're talking about. Yeah, I saw a little stat about it. How it was like historically great comebacks. Like the Browns were down 14 points with less than 2 minutes left. I think that hasn't happened in like 20 years. And then the Dolphins were down 3 touchdowns at the start of the fourth. That was also like historically crazy. So it's nuts to have one of those teams in action, let alone all three of them together.
How stupid, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta share some magic with us, bro. I mean, come on, look at me. I'm out here in shambles, dog.
And man, you just gotta swing enough. I don't even know that one. I can't even explain.
Yeah.
But I will say it's kind of because I remember last year. Real quick. There was like I had this weird feeling about. I can't remember the exact teams, but I had this weird feeling about certain like two teams, and I was gonna put them in an underdog parlay, and then I was like, I don't want to burn the $25, and that shit hit. And this year I was like, no matter what, if I just have a weird inclination, I'm just gonna throw on it. It's $20, 25, might not work out. I wasted $25 getting Chipotle. You might as well throw it on there and see what happens. So especially for weeks 1, 2, and 3, take some shots. Like you don't know what teams look like. You don't know who's good or not. Everybody that you're super down on could win the next week. So just take weeks 1 and 2, 3 for people watching next year. Take that shot. You never know. Like Jets, Jets was the one I felt really good about. I had them in a lot of money lines across my plays. It's because Browns, they just don't have a great quarterback. And every time you're facing a team with a bad quarterback, you always have a chance to win. So I take the better quarterback on the road. The rest were just pure luck. I don't even know. Like just pure luck.
I had an underdog parlay locked in this week too. It was about $25. First of all, I don't know what you're getting at Chipotle. Are you getting like extra guac for it to be $25?
But that walk is expensive, bro.
Getting that Uber Eats.
Yeah.
That Uber Eats.
What's going on, man? You're tipping fat. Yeah.
Yeah.
After all the fees and everything, it's 35. But yeah, my underdog parlay was so I did have the Steelers in an underdog parlay with the Seahawks. So both of those teams lost, but like you said, in those games, I did see a way that the underdog could win. And then the third team in my underdog parlay was the Cowboys, who actually did come out with the win. So the Seahawks, they were playing a young quarterback, and then Trey Lance got hurt early on, so that game kind of went completely differently than what I anticipated. And then the Steelers, they just got outplayed. They simply got outplayed. But there was a lot of statistics in Mike Tomlin's favor playing at home as the underdog, so I just rode with that. It didn't work out, but I think the process was proper.
Process is definitely proper, yeah. Facts.
So that was my underdog parlay. It was 25 to win, I think like 500-600 as well. So the risk to reward is worth it, in my opinion. To like you said, if you have a good feeling about a few underdog teams, then go ahead and just lock in a little bit of money to have a high reward. Because if it does hit, then you want to be able to cash out on that intuition that you have.
Facts.
Yeah. Hey, more power to y'all, man. Y'all working magic out here. So I guess I want to transition to biggest shambles. As the Shamble King himself, I guess I'll start. We went 5-11 this week, so I have 11 places to pick from. But I think I'm gonna go with Baltimore -3.5. I feel like that was America's lock of the week, man. Lamar was looking like MVP, looking like give me my money. He was showing out in front of the home crowd, Pompano, Florida. I mean, it's really, I don't have too much to say, y'all. It's been a rough week for me. I'm really sad, and I'm gonna need to do some things to get my confidence back.
Yeah.
But that was my biggest shamble of the week. And then last night, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hit him again. I threw a little bit on the Tennessee +10. I was like, Derrick Henry gonna bounce back. This is gonna erase all my bad feelings for the weekend. Lo and behold, Bills did what they had to do, looking like the Super Bowl favorites. Tennessee in shambles. So your boy's down bad right now, but hopefully in week 3 I'm gonna come back with some better news.
Well, that's a broken man right there. That's a broken man right there.
We'll help you out, man. Don't worry, we'll help you out. But you know what? Just
part of the game.
Just to let you know, yeah, man. Just to let you know, you're not alone. I'm gonna go ahead and agree with you that Baltimore -3.5 was my my least favorite loss this week, just because early on in that game, I was receiving texts from somebody saying, "Oh, this is a lock. I wish I threw more on Baltimore. I wish I should have emptied the clip." And I was just like, "Yeah, they look like they're clearly going to cover this 3.5. They were up like double digits, and they didn't cover. So it's kind of rough when you can kind of check off like a team early in the game, and then you check the score later, and you're just kind of like, wait a minute, what happened here? So that we were on the wrong end of that in that comeback, but yeah, so hopefully going forward, Baltimore learns how to keep a lead. But these are things that we have to take note of, is that some teams don't play well with the lead. The Eagles last week didn't play well with the lead. They came away with the loss, or they came away with the win, but they squeezed it out. And then yesterday, Eagles were up, significantly, and I thought there was a place for the Vikings to come back, but Kirk Cousins just didn't want it. So we'll move on.
It doesn't make sense. Baltimore is built to run the ball through their quarterbacks, through the running backs, through everything. It's like that's the perfect team to hold the lead, and they couldn't figure it out.
They couldn't, and you know what? They had trouble running one of my things that I really hate is when, and this is on us, we got to do like maybe some more research too, because I was like, the day after, you hear like all the pundits and everybody who gets paid to talk the big money to talk about sports, talking about stuff that nobody talked about throughout the whole week. It's like, bro, where's this information the last 6 days? Finding out that like I knew the Ravens was missing some offensive linemen, but finding out that, their pass defense has been like the worst pass defense for the last 19 games. I knew that they would struggle running the ball a little bit, but I thought with Lamar, you can at least like put him in some boots and put him in some design QB runs to like bleed out the clock. You just needed a couple of first downs to win that game. So, yeah, some of the stuff that people have been worried about, the pass defense, running the ball, came to light. And Tua, man, he didn't do anything super amazing, but Mike McDaniel, man, he's just a mad genius, bro. Mad scientist, just chalked up hella plays and just exposed what they were weak at. So I thought them on the road against John Harbaugh at home would be a lock. Like, you can't beat John Harbaugh at home week 2 with the rookie head coach. They proved all of us wrong. That was definitely one of the biggest hits of the week. Had them in a lot of parlays. And shoot, I had one. I'm just reading on paper. I had one. It was $50 to win 1,200, bro. Pats money line, Packers -9, Jets money line, Falcons to cover 10.5. Those 4 hit. And then I went against my lock of the week and had Colts money line in there, dusted. So that one hurt a little bit too. And then also the Panthers. The Panthers, man, I can't ever trust them again. Baker, like, do you want a contract or not, bro? Do you want a contract or not? He's playing like complete ass, bro. I'm not touching him for the rest of the year. I know that. And if I ever pick the Panthers again, I want y'all to fly over here and slap me upside the head, bro. Don't even let me get the words out of my mouth. Golly.
Hey,
But yeah, those are
Baker's
my
Tim Tebow. Baker's Tim Tebow 2.0, man.
Man, that was crazy. I really have faith in him 2 weeks in a row. Crazy.
So I guess those are some painful lessons. Do we have any overarching takeaways from these L's?
Don't bet your lock. How about that?
That one hurt, bro. That one hurt. I wanted a sprinkle on the Colts just in case. And I put it in something that actually could have won.
Yeah. Crazy. I mean, for me, you know, when I lose on teams that I actually believe in, like my gut feeling tells me to choose a specific team, kind of like the Steelers. I really believe that the Steelers will win or cover the spread, and they didn't. And I didn't win that, but I'm okay with that because that was my pick, and that's what I was riding with all along. But then when I have like a pick and then something inside me convinces me to choose the other way, and then if I lose that, those are the losses that really hurt the most, because it's like I didn't go with what I really believe, but something was just telling me to bet on the other side. Because I mean, generally along the research process, I think all of us are like this way, where we're flipping from one team to the other multiple times. But then the team that we eventually settle on should be the team that you initially believe in, and that your research tells you to believe in. You know, you shouldn't be swayed one way or another because of, you know, what the public is doing or many reasons, you know, but just kind of go with what you believe in. And then if you lose those, then it's okay. You'll be able to sleep that night, you know, because that
for real. Like, even like we were talking about Baltimore a lot. Like I don't regret putting Baltimore in like all our parlays. Like, the process was right. Just some freaky shit happened. Like, that shit will not happen 9 out of 10 times. We just, some shit that hasn't happened. That's NFL shit. And sometimes you lose like that. It's okay. But yeah, like Sojad said, go with your gut, go with your research too. And don't because you don't want to ever have like Sojad said, like a parlay lose or like a pick lose. And you were you had convictions on the other side. So stick with what you like, stick with what you trust. And then if it makes an L, it makes an L. But yeah, you don't want to have that happen.
Just to keep it simple, I'm gonna just go back to the basics. I'm gonna stop depending on bad teams like Tennessee, and I'm gonna just try to find values in tried and true teams, and I'm gonna just stick to that. Dial back the risk and the upside chasing, and I'm gonna just try to look for the strong, consistent value, the blue chippers, if you will, as Warren Buffett would say.
I do have more takeaways.
Oh, you do? Okay, let's hear it.
For the viewers at home, road underdogs have been paying money. They've been 10-5 against the spread so far. So anytime you see a road underdog, I'm gonna go straight against what you said, Blake, and I'm gonna go the opposite way. I'm gonna say anytime you see a team that's undervalued on the road, because Blake, a lot of people are feeling like you. You got to stay strong in the process. A lot of people are feeling like you. I bet the Titans, I bet the Bears, and they folded, blah, blah, blah. But look at the other teams, the Falcons, the Texans, who were on the road facing a assumedly great team, or the who else? There was a couple other teams too.
Cardinals.
But basically on the road facing the Cardinals, facing an assumingly great team Jets, and they covered. Some of them won. So like I think the process was right. You just chose the wrong team. That's it. But you got the Falcons. Don't fall off the bandwagon just because one team put you in shambles. The Dolphins too. That's another team. So I'm looking ahead at this week. I'm seeing the Falcons on the road, underdog. Packers on the road at Tampa Bay, underdog. That catches my eye. Niners, Lions, Texans. That's just for that. And then a couple other things. Just the Nathaniel Hackett, bro. Are we off the Broncos? What the hell is going on with that team? That team looks broken.
Russell Wilson looking like Russell Westbrook. They got the wrong RW.
What's funny is I think that's exactly the situation it reminds me of, to be honest. I was thinking about this last night. I feel like Russ is KD and Nathaniel Hackett is Russell Westbrook. And they're letting Russell Westbrook run the show. And I think Russell Wilson, God, why these dudes got the same name, needs to take over and say, bro, like, let me run the team. You obviously can't handle it. Just focus on like the simple shit, managing the game. I'll manage the offense. If they do what they were doing in Seattle with that offense, run the ball, play action, over the top, and then intermediate throws, they're going to be fine. But they look like they don't know who they are, which is the worst thing to be in football.
Yeah. All right. Any other takeaways before we do this week 3 look ahead?
Yeah, one takeaway that I have is that you got to move on. So let's move on.
Please, bro. Please, my guy.
All righty then. So we're gonna look at the slate for week 3. I'm just gonna pull it up on the Action Sports app since I'm purely mobile right now. So the first one is gonna be Pittsburgh Cleveland. Got Pittsburgh plus 2.5 underdogs in Cleveland. I don't really have much to say on this game.
Wait, they what?
I don't think that line is right.
+5. It's 5.5, I think.
Oh, did it open at 2.5?
Yeah. What? You even check the lines before?
Bro, I'm on my phone. I'm in a
+5.5.
parking lot at work.
Ooh, it just changed to +5. That's crazy. Live time.
What's the 2.5?
It's like the opening line, I think.
Okay, so it opened at 2.5. All right. So we got Pittsburgh plus 5.5. Honestly, I think Cleveland's better than this team at this point. The loss of TJ Watt is pretty tragic, but I think I'm going to stay away from this one as I look to be a little more conservative this week.
Same. I'm with you there. I'm not going to touch it really. I'll throw Cleveland in the teaser, money line teaser. Short week, Steelers on the road, banged up, a team that can run the ball at home. I'll give them the advantage. I did get some early action on the under at 40.5. It's going down to 38.5 right now. So that was one I bet like 6 days ago, but that's all I got for the game.
Got you. Sojad?
Yeah, I'm curious why I opened at 2.5 and I moved to 5.5. But 75% of public money is on the Steelers spread. So if I had to take that game, I would take Steelers +5. I think 5 is too much to give to them.
Ooh.
But I got to do some research and see why that spread moved so much. Moving 2.5 points is pretty significant already. So
Yeah, really quick.
I'll take a look at that and see what's going on there.
I think the Steelers offense just looked – it might be the worst in the league. That's what I think people are saying. It just literally might be the worst in the league. Their O-line is trash. I think Gary will tear them up. But the Broncos offense doesn't scare me enough. I agree with you. This is one of the ones like we talked about where like mathematically we should take the Steelers on the road +5, but damn, bro, I just don't. It looks ugly for him.
So next up, we got KC and Indy. I'm gonna get this one right. KC's -6.5 in Indianapolis. All right, we back on track. So I'm gonna keep riding the high end with this one. King Mahomes. I'm gonna take KC -6.5. I might buy a couple of points on that one. I mean, Matt Ryan and Indy, they're just cursed. I said this last week, but like I'm not gonna be wrong 2 weeks in a row. I'm gonna double down. Ain't no way KC's losing this game. I think I'm just gonna I'm gonna take a couple points off and just ride with KC.
Yeah,
I think this is a perfect buy low spot for Indy. It's ugly. It's so ugly. But I think it's at, is that 6.5 right now or 7?
6.5.
Ooh, that's tricky. I do like him at +7. I'll bang the Colts. Just feel like Frank Reich teams always start off a little slow. They still got some units on that team that can like produce that are at a high level. No Darius Leonard last week. He was hurt. No Michael Pittman last week. Those are like their second best offensive player and their best defensive player. And I think they're gonna fight. 0-2, you're gonna fight. Look at what the Cardinals did to the Raiders. We thought the Raiders were a great team. I did see some stuff from the Chiefs that they need to work on, but I'm down with Chiefs money line, but I feel like 6.5 is a lot on the road in Indy.
Yeah, nine that spread actually opened up at 2.5, and that one moved to 6.5 as well. So I mean, this is kind of a trend that we're seeing here. That I'm looking at a few other lines. There's been a lot of movement, so I think it's something to discuss if we should lock in some early picks. A week or two before. 90% of the money is on the cheap spread, 6.5. And I do like it. I don't think 6.5 is too much for the Chiefs, especially the Colts looking the way they looked last week. Jonathan Taylor didn't seem like he had any openings to run the ball really. He broke away a few times late. And I was really keeping my eye on him because I have him in a fantasy league. Unfortunately for last week. Yeah, I'll take Chiefs on that one. I'll take Chiefs -6.5, ride the hot hand. I'll continue to ride them until they prove me wrong. So
wait, hold up. How on earth did this line open at 2.5?
Yeah, Action Network has this line opening up at 2.5. I'm not sure when it was to 6.5. But yeah, it was probably before Sunday's games that it was for the Chiefs.
That's the thing that's trash, bro. I don't know what sites are actually letting you bet on the games that early, but all the sites I use, obviously we all use we're in California, so we can't do FanDuel or Caesars, all the main sports books. We be using Bovada and some like bookie sites, but I didn't see that 2.5 like off the rip because I noticed it too, and I was like, bro, like once they release this shit, I'm banging it. 2.5, I love it, but yeah, if you guys out there, if you guys are in different states, and you guys can get that line, like feel free to look ahead, and if you already like a team, Sojad mentioned this last week, if you like a team like ahead of time, like say you like a team for week 2 to cover, like you like the Cards, and then you see them the next week, bet both teams. You can, or bet both games. You can parlay them together. You can just put some money on the future game. And if it works out for you in week 2, you're going to get great value for week 3 because that line will go up.
To be honest, though, I think that's just something we got to disregard. It might just be like a formality where they just open the line. There's just no way that they ever gave it to anybody at 2.5.
I think it's like to believe. It's almost like Vegas sets. I think Vegas sets the lines, but I don't know if the books release them. You know what I mean? Because I noticed that last week where Vegas has the line for week 2, but the books have not like posted him, so you can't bet on it yet. God, which game it was? I think Raiders.
All right, let's keep it pushing. I think we 30 minutes in.
Yeah, 10
so Baltimore, New England. Baltimore is -3. I'm doubling down. Lamar. Hey, I'm tripling down actually because I bet on Lamar the first 2 weeks. Lamar. Like,
are you blaming Lamar? He didn't do nothing. He did all he could, bro.
No. It's nothing. It's the Lamar show. That's all it is. I don't care about what the defense do. I don't care what Harbaugh does. I'm tripping over my words. I'm tripping.
Man, it's
Lamar better win this week. Lamar better win this week, dog. In New England against bruised up vertebrae Matt Jones and Bill Belichick. No, -3 Baltimore. Nothing else to say. I'm taking that one right now. I'm about to book it once we hang up.
Yeah, I'll take Baltimore -3 right there with you, man. Along with 89% of other bettors. These spreads are very one-sided as far as what the public is taking. But yeah, Patriots are at home and they got the +3. But home underdog is like a statistic that I do like to bet on generally. But not in this situation, especially Ravens coming off a tough loss. I think last week it was more so Tua and Tyreek and Waddle just getting loose. Not everybody has Tyreek Hill on their team. So that kind of broke open that game in a way that I don't think this game will be broken open. I'll take the Ravens -3 on this. I think we'll continue to see the spread move in the Ravens' direction. I think before the kickoff, we might see -3.5 to even -4 points. So I got your back on this one. I got the Ravens, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think as much as I hate it, because y'all know I hate anything where it's 90% favorite, same with last week, but 90% of the bets are on one team, but I just can't bet on the Pats at home. They don't have the offense, like Sojad said. They don't got a Reek. They don't got no Waddle. Like, those boys are burners. They got Nelson Aguilar and Jacoby Myers. They're not going to be able to do what the Dolphins did. And Ravens going to come in pissed off. So I expect, like, this was the game I'm betting on Lamar. This is the Lamar game. It's -3. This is a contract game. He did his thing last week. If you that dude, come in and get the dub. Leave with a dub. You got to leave with a dub.
Thank you.
You got to. This is a Lamar game.
We said that last week.
But Lamar did his thing last week.
He
just faced on the opposite side. He just couldn't. But if he does what he did last week, this week, they should win. They should win. Should cover that spread.
All right. Let's try to get through these next few in like the next 3 minutes so we can introduce our game to the audience.
For
so
sure.
We got Cincy in New Jersey, or New York Jets, I'm sorry.
Golly.
Cincy -4.5 against the Jets. I like the Jets in this one. Cincy's 0-2, and at this point, you got a Stockholm syndrome if you keep relying on them.
For me, I'm going to go with Cincy. I feel like there's a couple things they can fix on some of the game plan stuff was just atrocious. Just bad. Like, I don't know what's going on over there with the game plan and leaving people wide open and blocked. I feel like they fixed a couple things. The Jets don't have that type of pass rush that they faced the last 2 weeks. They faced Pittsburgh and Dallas, 2 of the top 5 best pass rushes. I think they'll get an easier time. They're hungry. They go out and cover that spread.
Yeah, they played 2 of the toughest pass rushers in the game for the first 2 weeks. So, like you said, they're not facing that this week. And even both the games in week 1 and week 2, they were in an opportunity to win the game. So it's not like they're getting blown out. They're not looking great, but I'm taking the Bengals to cover the 4.5.
Oh, yep, sounds good. All right, we got Buffalo in Miami. Buffalo -3.5 favorites. Actually, no, they're -5.5 favorites. I'm gonna stay away from this one.
I'm with you. I'm gonna stay away from this one. Divisional matchup. I want to sell the Dolphins hype, but I don't trust. Just divisional shit. Weird shit happens on the road. So I did get early money on the Bills -4. I didn't know it was 5.5 right now, but I just have a sprinkle on it. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I'll throw a little bit on the Bills -5.5. Ride the hot hand.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
Dope. All right, I'm gonna skip to a more intriguing one. We got Green Bay +2.5 in Tampa. I think Tampa's been really lucky their first 2 games, and Green Bay finally came out like during the regular season. So I'm gonna take Green Bay +2.5 in Tampa.
Yep, I got early action for that game on Packers money line. It was +3. I think it opened at. I think I got questions about both teams, their offense. I still think the Packers, they didn't solve anything last week. They just beat up on a bad Bears team. But I do trust that O-line. They finally got a little healthy, and I trust that defense. And I feel like Packers going to get some revenge on the road. I think they all thinking about that. I think it was 33-3 loss that they had last year or 2 years ago. So I think they're thinking about that. The more physical, more talented team on offense with the O-line healthy, I think they're going to be able to handle on the road. Just a sprinkle so far, though.
I'm taking the Packers money line on that one as well. It looks like Aaron Rodgers went back to his veteran receivers last week, and maybe he'll start to incorporate his young guys a little bit more this week too. And yeah, I didn't like what I saw from the Buccaneers last week against the Saints. That was a very ugly game. You had the ejections between Marshawn Lattimore and Mike Evans, and after that, the game just kind of changed a little bit. You had an angry Tom Brady playing, and he was able to squeeze it out. But I'll take Packers money line on this situation.
Yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, we got a few more picks for y'all, but we're definitely going to come to you on Thursday and Friday with that heat, with individual videos. We're kind of going on with this format. But just to close off, we want to introduce you guys to a new game that we got. Andy, if you want to kind of go into that a little more.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. So we're gonna be doing a new game. Actually, what we're actually betting on. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna be making the 1,000 bones game. All right,
Yeah.
1,000 bones. So each of us is gonna have $1,000 to bet with, and what we're gonna do is basically put our money down as we would in real life. It's gonna be fake money on here, but we're gonna put our money down how we would in real life. Parlays, spreads, straight up, or just put our money line, teasers, whatever you want it. We're gonna put the odds up. We're gonna let you guys watch us as we put our plays in, and then each week we're gonna like kind of count up who got the stacks, who got the greenbacks, and who needs to get it back. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna see how we're doing after each week.
Absolutely.
And see how our process is for gambling too.
All these websites are advertising a free $1,000. You lose your $1,000 bet, you get credit in betting bonus. So they're advertising that, and we're taking it. I bet best when I'm playing with somebody else's money. When I'm playing with house money, I just think clearly. I don't feel any pressure, and I just let my thoughts flow onto my betting website. So that's when I feel like I bet best. And we're gonna see what happens. I don't think you two stand a chance. Hopefully, I wish you guys the best of luck. But see what happens. We'll keep track. We'll keep track of it.
Hey, big spicy talk. All right.
You guys should have started this last week because I would have been in the hole, but I'm coming from vengeance.
I feel like you're still gonna be in the hole next week too.
I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried about you, man. I'm not too worried.
All right. Hey, we're gonna let the money talk. We're gonna let the money talk. Long story short, you guys are gonna see who flips this 1,000 week by week most successfully, and may the best better win.
Meet me at the top.
All right, we're gonna get into it.
Yeah, you sound a little nervous over there. Andy sounds a little nervous now that there's like actually we can track it. He sounds a little nervous over there.
I feel like I used up all my good luck, bro. Why we start week 1? I feel like I used up all my good luck.
Yeah, it was all in the plan. All
right, we're gonna get into it.
Thank you for rocking with us, though. We're gonna sign off with these week 2 recap and week 3 preview. We shall see you later this week.
All right, that's a wrap.
Gamble out.
See y'all.
Sir, it's a shamble or a gamble.